Okay, hello, I'm back here again. Then we are going to move to question number 2. Well, I just mark question 1 at level easy, and then question 2 is little more complicated, so level medium, so to say. What I'm asking here is just to create a Java program that asks the user for introduce two data, a text and a letter. Okay, and then what the program had to do is just check how many times the letter appear in the text and print on the screen the times that the letter appear in the text. And then I give some indication here also about using the scanner function. We know how to use it, and about use this function text chart AT. This is a function for the string. Of course, text is a string type, and then I put an example here about how it works. Uh, Imagine that text has the value of hola mundo, so this is the string hola mundo. If I just put this text dot chart at 3, I'm just taking the character on position 3 that remember that arrays always start by 0. It means that I'm just taking the A because the H is position 0, O is position 1, L is position 2, and A is position 3. Okay? Well, we will use this function also. And the clue here is that the string is an array of char. So yes, using a string, I can access to any letter in that screen as if were an array using this kind of notation. Okay, then start here. Well, this is from question 1. Then I will clean this up and we'll start now with question 2. Yeah, okay. First of all, it's about creating the scanner object. We know how to do it. I will call reader 1, for example, and then system in, because I want to use the keyboard. Okay, to create the second one, I will just copy and paste just for moving quickly. Then it will be reader 2, and the rest will be the same. Remember, as the scanner is another class defined in Java, I have to import that class, okay, in order that we can use the scanner structure. And that's what I'm doing now with this import statement here, okay? Then next is about asking the user to introduce the data. I will put in a bigger side, okay. First of all, I'm going to ask the user to introduce the text for example, okay, and then it could be reader 1, next line, okay, and secondly I will ask the user to introduce the character. Okay, that could be, yeah, sorry, this is a string. Well, you maybe are asking why I use the next function. Well, with next, if you remember, we can introduce a word. Okay, with next line we can introduce a line. Both will be a string, and the idea here is that we do not have a function for a specific function for introduce just a character. We use a function like next for introducing a word, and then I will just take the first letter of that word as the character that the user have introduced. Okay, and well, first of all, I'm going to put also here some information on the screen so the user understand what information are we asking him to introduce. And here is introduce a text, and Control C and Control V. Well, here is introduce a character. Yes, I will put just one character. Okay. Well, as we are working with a scanner, you know that we have to activate interactive. And let's check. I have some mistake there. Okay, now introduce a text. And introduce a character. Okay, it seems that it's work. So far, this is just the first part. So the only thing that we have done is just using the scanner object. We have asked the user to introduce the two data that we want him to introduce. What we have to do now is just taking the text that the user have introduced, and the character that the user have introduced, then look along the text how many times the characters appear. Okay, and as we said that the string, remember what the clue that I give here, it was that one, yeah. The clue was that an string is an array of char. Okay, well then what we are going to do is yes go through all the character in this string, so along all the array, and counts how many times appear our character. For that we can use a for loop that will start on position 0 this time, because we are going to go through an array, and then we will do this while operator is minor than we had to define this variable before. I will do now. And finally, of course, we have to increase the iterator. Okay, well, this longitude we are going to define here outside that it will be as length th, I guess so. Okay, so now we have in this variable longitude the length of the text. Well, it means that we have an iterator that goes from the value 0 to the length of the string. Well, then what we have to do is just check if each position of the text, okay, remember that text the text is an string of chart, and we access to each position in this string using this function chart add, okay, and then if this is equal to how do you find the character, okay, character at position 0, okay, because as I said, I will take, even though the user introduced here a word, more than one letter, okay, I will just take the first one, okay, and then this could be the and then what to do then when this happen? Well, I will have to just increase a variable that firstly I should define here and initialize to 0, okay. So when we reach here, the contador, the variable contador is a contador, well, an iterator also, well, is equal to 0. Then I get into the for loop, and I just go one by one to all the chart in the text that is an array of chart, remember, comparing with the first chart of the word that introduced the user, okay. In case that it is equal, and remember that equal, I have to put these two equal symbols. If I just put one, it means that what I'm doing is an assignation, not a comparison, okay. In case that both were equal, then I have to increase the counter, that's all. Well, and of course at the end I have to print the result. Print result could be something like the letter and the letter then is the letter I'll put appears contador times, okay. So I'm writing the message, the letter, and this is the letter, appears these times, and then times the text time. Okay, let's check it. If I put Pepe Lete and then I put E, you say the letter appear 6 times. It should be only 4. So I'm doing something wrong. Let me try again. Pepelete. I don't know what happened this before. It was maybe because I have introduced. Well, there are something that we should do also here when we are working with the scanner class. As we execute several times the program, the values just remains unless we do what I'm going to do now. Reader 1 close. We will see this later when we study the classes and the object, okay? But if you do that, what you are doing is just initialization to zero the scanner object. So if I would now PPLT. Okay, and now it's working properly. Then that could be the answer for question 2. Remember that was medium level. Okay. And now I will stop the video here and but with a new video for the question 3 that have a level high and could be maybe a little longer. Okay, see you in a while.